That's never happened before is happening now. An ACC team is in Eugene. The Virginia Cavaliers have come cross-country to take on the number 24 Oregon Ducks on ESPN's Saturday college football finale. Head man of the Ducks program, Mark Helfrich, in his fourth season, a tremendous record, a tremendous team. They won their opener a week ago over UC Davis, 53-28. On the other sideline, Bronco Mendenhall in his second game as the Cavalier head man after 11 years and 11 spectacular years at BYU, trying to rebuild this Virginia program from a tough series of seasons that they've had. Coach, quick thought on how this one should shake out.
Well, you saw Bronco jumping up and down. He wants to make sure that the enthusiasm that he has transfers to his team. He talked about body language last week. I'm sure we're going to see a much better effort. But Oregon is also trying to get better, play faster. Let's see how they do, especially on defense and defending the short pass game that Virginia was so good at last week.
Virginia won the toss. They've elected to receive. Matt Wogan kicks off, and we're underway in Eugene. Will go out of the end zone, and Virginia will get the touchback to start this game. The new quarterback for the Cavaliers will lead his team out onto the field. It's Kurt Benkert, the graduate transfer from East Carolina, was set to be the Pirates starting quarterback a year ago, had a season-ending injury, came back in time for spring camp in Greenville this year, decided after the coaching change he wanted to do something different. He's come to Charlottesville and won the starting job in a camp competition, and Benkert looked awfully good in his opener a week ago.
He's one of the guys that Coach Mendenhall trusts. He's got the skill set to extend the field, according to offensive coordinators.
Quick hitter falls incomplete in the direction of Keon Johnson on first down. He had him. Handoff and a scamper for Albert Reed before he's hit by Troy Dye, the sensational true freshman who made such a splash in the Ducks opener a week ago.
Picking up right where he left off, leading tackler last week, true freshman. This is something, though, that Virginia must do better, is run the football. The Ducks almost gave up a 100-yard ground game to the UC Davis running back last week. And Virginia, though, feeling like they should throw, must run to protect the quarterback.
And third down conversion, such a problem for the Cavs a week ago. Benkert looking to the outside, overthrows Taquan Mizell deep and out of bounds, and it'll set up fourth down.
He's probably the most explosive player on the Oregon Duck football team. Every time he touches the ball, he's a threat to go all the way.
Bobbles it. So the Ducks, just like the Cavs, with a graduate transfer quarterback, it is Dakota Prukop, who came from Montana State after completing a spectacular season there a year ago.
He has the best mechanical efficiency I've ever seen delivering the football, and that's a high praise. There's a need, though, for speed. He needs to run. He's the engine that pushes this train in terms of the speed and tempo, and all the coaching staff, all the offensive players, it's on his shoulders to play at a higher tempo this week.
He'll have one of the best running backs in the nation behind him to start this series, Royce Freeman, wearing 21 here. And so the Ducks go to work at their own 21-yard line. Prukop coming near side and hits his receiver. That is Devin Allen, the U.S. Olympian who represented the United States in the 110-meter hurdles down in Rio a month ago.
And he got back in football shape very quickly. He's starting this week, and they expect him to make a huge contribution.
Freeman with his first touch, and it's a good one. Rumbling forward for the Oregon first down.
You can tell by the crowd that they love Royce Freeman. He's the king, or Cadillac of cars. He's the king of running backs this year, at least as far as Eugene, Oregon.
I like that, Rolls Royce. Can I borrow that?
You can.
He's rolling again. Down. Freeman set the Oregon record for rushing yards in a season a year ago, which, when you think about all the great running backs they've had here, that says something about where he's at.
No question. And getting Terrell Crosby and Cameron Hunt back in that offensive line is certainly going to help him also.
Near side, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Charles Nelson.
You know, one thing, Charles Nelson has bobbled a couple balls in the first game. He bobbled that punt. That was a great punt, by the way, to the sideline that left very little room for him to maneuver. And that was, if I was going to punt to him, I'd tell my punter, put it there. But he's having a little bit of trouble concentrating on the football, probably wanting to do more with it before he really catches and secures the ball.
So third down here for the Ducks. Pressure, Prukop blocked. As he tried to dump it in, that ball is bouncing around. They're signaling incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Last week, Richmond had a lot of success with the screen play, and Oregon had put a lot of screens in this week, but too much pressure right in his face just wasn't allowing him to get the screen off. Most screens can be stopped before they get started by the defense.
That was Chris Peace, 13 for Virginia, that got his hand up on it. So back Daniel Ham to receive the punt. That will come off the foot of Ian Wheeler. Boots it from his own 28. Ham takes it at the 24, makes a couple to miss, and gets snagged, but a nice run up through the center of the traffic, and Virginia will take over again, this time at their 38-yard line. Much better starting position for the Cavs.
The longer this game can stay in this mode with Virginia competing, trading punts, that's a great thing for the visitor. Coming all this way, playing at night for them, they're excited, and they're showing more energy on the sideline, which I think we all want to talk about.
Bronco Mendenhall talked about that the keys for this game for them were to be +1 on turnovers, be better on 3rd down, 50% or better, and make sure if they get into the red zone, score touchdowns and not field goals. He hands off here to Albert Reed, who has a nice 1st down gain. Benkert throws, popped as he caught it, but catching it was Keon Johnson. Taquan Mizell, 4, is in the backfield for Virginia. He's one to keep an eye on for the Cavs. He'll get his first touch here. Gets a couple going around the far side. Mizell, a senior from Virginia Beach. There's Mizell again. Quickly wrapped up and dropped. Another 3rd down here for the Hoos. Benkert throws near side, complete to Johnson. Spins away from one and will pick up the 1st down before he's dropped at the 38-yard line. There's 10 Jordan Ellis into the game for the first time for Virginia. Benkert scrambles under pressure and slides forward. He'll be right back to the original line of scrimmage. Flag will come in, and that's one of the new rules for this year.
As soon as a quarterback goes into a slide, he's a protected player. You cannot hit him. Also, the ball is dead at that point.
Personal foul. Defense. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
David Epperly, the referee tonight.
As we watch this, you can see him take off, and then he goes down, and you can't make any contact. And if he's down, you have to think about it. You better pull off.
And so that was Troy Dye who made that contact. So the 15 yards sets the Cavs up now inside the 25 at the 23 of Oregon. Try to set up Mizell. He cuts back this way, picks up a block, runs into that block, and gets down to the 22-yard line. Short gain on 1st down for a lot of running. They give him a yard on the 1st down. Benkert hands off, coming back this way. Nice spin away from trouble by Albert Reed. Flag comes in, though.
Holding. Offense. Number 50. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's too bad because Reed does a great job. This is a late developing draw play, sort of a roll draw, and you see the hold right there. Great job of eluding the tackle, getting up the field, but all for naught.
First penalty this season on the Cavs. They went through their opener a week ago against Richmond without getting flagged at all. Something that Bronco Mendenhall said was actually a concern. Here's Reed. Gets back down to about the 21-yard line.
Pressure from Oregon.
Benkert looking to the outside to Donnie Dowling, and he got it knocked away as he was headed toward the back of the end zone. Arion Springs for Oregon kept after it and kept after it.
Great job. Now Oregon's going to see pressure. Brady Hoke talked about the fact he wanted to go man blitz this week. He got it, but that creates the one-on-one opportunities down the field. You've got to come up with that catch, lay out right there. It's right on the fingertips, and this is an amazing job of trying to keep it. But great job by Springs to come in and strip the ball late.
Here comes the first career collegiate field goal attempts for Dylan Sims, and they'll fake it. Near side, not fooling anybody.
To the coaches at Virginia, they're not comfortable kicking any very long field goals. We also talked about the fact that we believe they were going to try and steal some possessions on special teams, which means fakes, but well played. Springs again in their key. This is a little option play right there. The kicker, the holder, seems he did not really get to the option man, which allowed him the freedom to play both.
Yeah, Virginia lost its place kicker to a season-long suspension, discipline. So he's gone. And so Bronco Mendenhall told us the other day that if they're outside the 20-yard line, don't expect them to kick the field goal. Here's Rolls Royce.
Now, that is vintage Royce Freeman.
Sideline warning on the Oregon bench is what that was about. Offense off the field for a while.
And there aren't a lot of moral victories, but moving the ball is going to help fire up that offense.
Here comes Freeman again. Out to midfield before he's wrestled to the ground.
As we talked about all week long, Royce Freeman is a special running back. He does some things naturally. He can make people miss. He's 230 pounds. He possesses all the attributes you want for a great running back.
Brewcup throws it outside. That's Darren Carrington. He'll get some good first down yardage. And a flag will come in. Little late hit, little rough and out of bounds.
And there you see the Oregon version of the triple option. The dive, the quarterback keep, and then
personal
the pitch.
foul. Defense, number 53. 15-yard penalty, first down.
We talked about, here's the end of the play. You see Carrington continuing to go there, and just a late hit. He was already out of bounds, not necessary. Micah Kaiser, the leading tackler in the league last year, unfortunately, is always around the ball. Just got to get there sooner.
Kaiser and Quinn Blanding, the defensive leaders for this Cavalier unit. It suddenly finds Oregon at the 29-yard line, and their own goal line creeping up on their backs. Here's Brewcup to throw, near side. Has a receiver, that's Nelson.
Don't allow any cushion. Keep him very close to you so you can get a hold of him when he gets the ball.
Wide open receiver. Running for the end zone. Pharaoh Brown, does he get there? No, they'll say he's down at the 2. When Pharaoh Brown gets into the end zone for Oregon for the first time this season, you are going to hear a massive roar from this crowd.
There's no question he's a crowd favorite. Coming back from the serious knee injury and basically getting himself back on the field. As we watch, this is a great job here. Big rambling guy. He's got a great range and obviously down right there, so probably ball around the 2 to 2.5 yard line. But great effort for the big man to find that end.
Is Tim Harris, who is being attended to, the senior cornerback for the Cavaliers, and so an injury timeout here. So Freeman lined up behind the quarterback, Dakota Brewcup, and gets the ball headed for the goal line and into the end zone for the Duck touchdown.
One other comment, a lot of people thought that Royce Freeman didn't touch the ball enough last week. I think Mark Helfrich and the Oregon football staff is going to change that tonight.
So last week against UC Davis, they went for 2, the Ducks did, on a lot of point-after tries, including when they were lined up to kick it. Aiden Schneider is a veteran, experienced kicker, but here they go. Charles Nelson, 6, ran 2 two-point PATs in, and look at the intentional penalty by Virginia.
Actually pretty smart. Maybe not in the scope of integrity, but now you take away that possibility, make them kick the extra point, as opposed to now the odds of making it from the 8-yard line.
Offside.
It's a Virginia
defense,
penalty.
number 53. Yes. Half a distance to the goal. Try for point.
So they'll move it a little closer.
Oh, now, yeah. Actually, I was thinking it'd be a 5-yard penalty the other way, which would have helped a great deal. Well, that doesn't matter. That actually makes it much easier for them, and it's not going to change their strategy any.
Well, Micah Kaiser saw that they weren't lined up correctly to defend that formation, and so he just went up and knocked the center over, and here they go again. So Charles Nelson, 6. Last week ran 2 of these back into the end zone. 1 he threw the other way. Floats it over the top, and it's defended and knocked away, intended for Pharaoh Brown, and the 2-point try is incomplete.
You can see a nice job of following his blockers outside and then just lowering his shoulders. They weren't going to stop him outside the end zone. Now this play, they're counting numbers and just saying, okay, here we go. If you cover everybody with one-on-one, and he did get interfered with right there, I think Virginia got away with holding the arm of the intended receiver.
So Matt Logan to kick. And he will blast that one right through the end zone, and Virginia will start on the touchback. So Bronco Mendenhall, changing scenery after 11 very successful seasons in Provo as the head coach at BYU. 10 consecutive winning seasons, and he comes to Virginia because he wanted to be part of building something. And boy, Chris Budden, he has had to tear it right down to the studs in the walls.
Yeah, he did. He wanted his team to learn that everything is earned, not given. That includes the numbers and the colors on the jerseys. During spring practice, they could wear only black. Eventually, they were allowed to wear the V Sabre, the blue, and the orange. And then during fall practice, they battled for a draft order to pick their numbers. Only 73 players will get to wear a number.
It's amazing. Albert Reed is one of them, and a nice rumble right up the gut on first down.
I'm not surprised at all to see them attempting to run the ball more tonight here against Oregon.
Near side throw, a little too tall over Donnie Dowling's hands. Incomplete.
You know, one thing about Bronco also, you notice that win, 99 wins at BYU. One more win would qualify him to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. You must have 100 wins at one institution and a more than 600 winning percentage. He walked away from that opportunity because he does want to be part of building something.
Nice carry for Jordan Ellis, who missed last week's game with a hamstring injury, and he will be out close to the first down for the Cavs on that one before Jalen Jelks brought in a timeout, Virginia.
Timeout, Virginia, their first.
As the play clock was down to 1 second. First down. Benkert to throw. Over the top. Near side looking for Andre Lavroni, and incomplete. Reed, nice cut back the other way. Then gets popped and stuck. And a nice hit by Brendan Schooler, 43 for the Ducks. A true freshman who the coaches told us had really improved from scout team to special teams, now onto the defensive depth chart. Third and short. Reed again, big hole up the middle, makes one miss. He's caught and run down from behind, but not until he's all the way down at the Oregon 25-yard line. We hope the new defensive coordinator here at Oregon for this season. They spotted at the 27. Benkert has to pull it back and gets dropped.
Nice job in terms of, we talked about the pressure the Ducks wanted to bring. Here they're bringing a blitz. You can see him just trip him up at the bottom there. Benkert probably could have run. His eyes were down the field.
So the loss of 4 sets up the Cavs with a 2nd and 14. Benkert under pressure, heaves it far side, got a receiver, knocked away. Is that ball incomplete? They'll say it's a catch. On their second offensive drive of the game that's gotten down into Duck territory. And it gets into the end zone. Albert Reed with a Cavalier touchdown.
The play that set that up was a fake sprint draw that was designed to fool the Oregon defense, and it did. They got a guy behind the secondary.
He pushes it wide to the right. And the dangerous Charles Nelson has the ball at his own 2. Phenomenal field position for the Duck offense to start this drive.
I like to call him silky smooth. He is so good at what he does. He's patient. He's powerful. He has all the attributes, and he does it so easily. He makes it look easy. He looks like a cop swinging in and out of traffic in a jam. He doesn't get hit by people. He just makes yards, and he's the unsung hero in this offense. The spread offense is not about glorified passing game. To me, it's about the running game. Royce Freeman is the engine that pulls the train.
Already been in the end zone once tonight. Now the Ducks come out for their 3rd offensive possession. Crew Cup is the quarterback, the graduate transfer from Montana State. They'll dump near side a little short of Darren Carrington. Here's Freeman. Made something out of that. Got about 5 out of it when there wasn't much there at the line of scrimmage.
Part of it's vision, part of it's just great agility.
Broke off a 22-yard run as part of the Oregon scoring drive when they got their touchdown earlier. Flags and movement. Lubick.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Score. We could talk more about that a little bit later.
That's where I was leading to, what Coach Lubick told us yesterday. Here's Brook up to throw. Gets hit, spins away. Heaves it downfield. Has a receiver there, and it's caught. So empty backfield now. Both Tony Brooks-James and Royce Freeman split out wide. Now they'll shuffle it up. Sorry to say that Matt Lubick told us that when you get a penalty on an offensive drive, it reduces your odds of scoring from 60% to 20%. So we'll see if the Ducks are able to overcome those odds on this drive after the penalty. Near side, here's Freeman. Got room. Out of bounds, just at the 10-yard line. Royce Freeman rumbles again. Mark Helford said good hands. Freeman is an excellent pass receiver. Doesn't get much on that one. Stacked up by Dante Wilkins.
Especially playing against a quick, blur, up-tempo offense like Oregon. You can't communicate too much. You just got to be ready to play, to react, and go get it.
Keep an eye on 85, Pharaoh Brown, the tight end. A step back from the line of scrimmage. This side, it's Tony Brooks-James with the Oregon touchdown. Well, they overcame the odds on the offensive penalty on the drive. On their last touchdown, they went for two, did not make it. Here they go again. This is what they did last week against UC Davis. 6, Charles Nelson ran it in for 2. Now they're going to come back and reset to kick. Play clock's running out.
They practice this a lot. They've got the time to get it done.
And Aiden Schneider knocks it through. The beautiful new Marcus Mariota Sports Performance Center here in Eugene. Motion capture cameras analyze a subject performing virtually any movement, from sport-specific drills to more traditional weightlifting. Financed by Phil Knight and Nike, and finished in 8 months, and named, of course, for the Heisman Trophy winner from here at Oregon, who starts his NFL campaign tomorrow. So after the Duck touchdown, the Cavs, ball goes in and out of the hands of Joe Reed. Throws over the middle and a short gain. Benkert, of course, a year ago was slated to be the starting quarterback for the East Carolina Pirates under their head coach then, Ruffin McNeil. Suffered a serious knee injury just before the start of the season, missed the whole year. Came back for spring camp at ECU this year, new coaching staff in place, and decided he wanted to do something else. Got his release, of course called his old coach Ruffin McNeil, who highly recommended him to Bronco Mendenhall. And Bronco says, quote, "We love our quarterback. His quarterback has just hit a completion to Olamide Zaccheaus, and a nice gain that gets the Cavs a first down."
And the other neat thing about Kurt Benkert is he's only a junior. He's one of the few graduate transfers that has 2 years of eligibility. And he is the guy that Bronco most counts on right now to lead that offense. But it's nice to get Zaccheaus involved because he was suspended first half of last game. Came in and caught 5 passes in the second half for 75 yards and was sort of the go-to guy.
Yeah, was their leading pass receiver last week, despite missing that first half when he turned himself in for a violation of team rules. Benkert swings it out to Donnie Dowling. Nice pursuit there. He's wrapped up and knocked down. Quarter in Eugene. Alan Bestwood, Coach Mike Bellotti, Chris Budden with you on a Saturday night. Virginia with the ball at their own 49-yard line. Kurt Benkert, the Cav quarterback, 3 for 3 throwing on this drive. This time he'll hand it off to Albert Reed, who's had a big game out of the Virginia backfield. Now to 84 already in the game, and we've just started the second quarter. I'd keep handing him the rock if it keeps working.
I would too, I think. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
The first, check that, a 2nd and 7. Going to be a holding call there. Benkert will throw it low to the near sideline. It was incomplete.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the offense. Ineligible downfield, number 50. That penalty is declined. Holding on the offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Let's take a look right here. You can see as this thing goes. Just take a look right there. As soon as you get past him, you got to be careful. That's a grab and hold and a takedown, and obviously seen by everybody.
Austin Malawada was on his way to the quarterback. Feeler got a hold of him, so the ball now back to the 40-yard line. Benkert trying to find an open receiver, throws near side, throws it out of bounds, and it'll bring up 3rd and long for the Cavs. Benkert throws the far ball to the sidelines and overthrows Andre Lavroni, incomplete. It'll be 4th down.
The fact that I still believe they're going to try to steal some plays on special teams. I would keep a defensive presence on the field, which I believe Oregon is doing right now. This is their safe punt return.
Nicholas Conti's an excellent punter for the Cavs. Charles Nelson is a dangerous returner for the Ducks. Oh, look at that kick. Talk about pinning them deep. Conti drops it dead with the backspin on it inside the 2-yard line. The graduate transfer. Last year played at FCS Montana State and was just amazing. Threw for over 3,000 yards, passing 63% completions. Now he has the Ducks offense backed up to their goal line. He'll keep it himself and pitch it wide. Dwayne Stanford.
Great awareness by the quarterback, and I was going to see, don't seem surprised to they'll try to get some room down there. This is the option. Great read by him, gets past the first guy. Then you get to the outside because that's what you want to do to protect yourself. You also have the pitch guy there. Nice job. Whoa, that's a great job. They just got by that guy who was trying to get him. Stanford, not the fastest guy, but in perfect pitch position.
Virginia player was down for a moment. But yet, you got the sense from Mark Helfrich, well, you didn't get the sense, he just told us directly, there were things they needed to improve on from week 1 to week 2. Here's Rolls-Royce. Royce Freeman out across the 40-yard line before he's knocked down. Freeman again. That would be a cloud of dust play on that one, but he ground out about 2 or 3. Charles Nelson is the other one in the backfield with Freeman now for this play. Pitch out to Freeman. Tries to get the edge. He'll be close to first down yardage before he's knocked out of bounds on a late hit. And a flag comes in, a couple of them.
Pass play.
After the play, personal foul. Defense, number 53. 15 yards, first down.
That's the second late hit out of bounds on Micah Kaiser in this game for Virginia.
It's unfortunate. He is all over the field, but he's got to understand where the out of bounds line is. Freeman was definitely out of bounds right there, no question about it. But that was a great improvisation by Prukup. That was a drop back pass where he finally got flushed out of the pocket, and then realized he had the pitch guy and Freeman next to him.
So the ball now all the way down to the 35-yard line. Prukup throws, going for it all, corner of the end zone, and just over the outstretched hands of Jalen Brown, his intended receiver.
They like Jalen Brown a lot. They think he's got great ball skills. Ball just a little bit overthrown. One of the things that Oregon is still not getting to is the tempo package. Part of it is the quarterback resetting protections and making sure. A lot of times in the meetings we had this week, they talked about the fact they wanted Prukup to just trust the offensive line and trust tempo instead of worrying as much about the protections. It's a little easier said than done for a quarterback in a new system.
Yeah. They said they wanted it to be to the point where they didn't have to think about it. They just did it. And stopping to think about it was slowing them down from the tempo that they want to execute this offense at. Near side, wrapped. Brooks James gets clobbered behind the line of scrimmage by Jordan Mack, the true freshman linebacker for the Cavs.
Charles Nelson is not afraid. He's the guy trying to block there. He's not afraid of a hit. He just doesn't do a very good job and doesn't get the right angle, but great job of coming up and laying the wood. That's the way to stop a screen play.
And flags coming in. They're going to back him up 5 more, I believe.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the offense. Both penalties will be enforced. False start, offense number 88. After the play, personal foul, number 78. 15-yard, third down.
Now, I guarantee you, double penalties, that's 60% chance to score on a drive. Went down to 20. It might get down less after this because when you're talking about third and a long ways.
There's Cameron Hunt, the senior leader of this offensive line. 78, and he's the one that picked up the personal foul.
Let's see where it goes. It just continues. It just was late, and it really wasn't. He was just continuing to play. I'm not sure I would have called that, but he did continue really after the whistle. That's the problem.
Prukup will heave it downfield. It's got a receiver. Devin Allen. How did he catch that ball?
One of the more improbable third down conversions you're going to find. Tremendous concentration by Devin Allen. He uses his body to shield the defender. Great throw. That was a tremendously accurate throw for the distance and the window that he had to fit it into.
44 yards on 3rd and 36, and the Ducks are inside the 10, first and goal. Taj Griffin, ball's loose. And a timely falling on by a Duck lineman will keep the Oregon offense in possession of the ball.
Here we take a look at it right up close and personal. Got to protect the football. And that actually he hit the ground. I'm not sure that would have been called a fumble anyway. Ground supposedly cannot cause a fumble.
I agree with you. The elbow hit there, and he was still in possession of the ball. But 2nd and goal from the 3. Freeman runs into a pack. Goes nowhere. Dante Wilkins. Nelson in motion. Here's Prukop throws wide open in the end zone, and touchdown Wayne Stanford. They'll kick this one. And Aiden Schneider's kick is true. A drive that started on their own 1-yard line, aided by a 3rd and 36 where they got 44 yards on it. On this pass to Olympian Devin Allen. And Oregon expands their lead on this touchdown. Matt Wogan now kicking into the wind. That always blows from camera left to camera right here. He'll short kick it. Scooped up at the 4 by Albert Reed. Nice return. All the way out to the 45-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Reed having a monster game for the Cavs here so far. 87 yards rushing, and that kick return. Benkert throws near side, complete to Keon Johnson. Yeah, Bronco said that the night they had that number draft, he called one of the greatest nights of his career, and he said it will be a regular part of this Virginia program going forward.
He said that the self-realization of where teammates see each other was very important for his kids to learn and to understand. And he said he'll continue. I think it's a great idea. I think it works.
You know what else I like about it? No duplicate numbers for the announcer to sort out.
That's true. That is true.
Benkert throws far side, complete to Taquan Mizell. He'll move the sticks for the Hoos. Ball at the 38-yard line. Here's Reed, tripped up very quickly right away by Rex Manu for Oregon.
That's getting the kind of penetration you need. Watch him on the nose guard right there. Beats him with a quickness move and comes back around and gave Reed really nowhere to go.
There's Reed. Not much going there. It'll set up 3rd and long for Virginia. They pinned Virginia with the punt, the flip field position. Pinned Oregon with the punt. They went 99 yards with it anyway. Benkert throws off the hands of the intended receiver near side. Andre Lavroni couldn't pull it in, and it brings up 4th down.
And last time they dumped it at the 1-yard line, Oregon converted.
There's that nose down punt, but it bounces the wrong way and into the end zone for the touchback. And Oregon will take over with a 14-point lead, 6:20 to go in the first half. Oregon's ball at their own 20 after the punt into the end zone. Dakota Prukop will get dropped. Little scrambling on the Cavs defense here. And here comes Freeman. Zach Bradshaw knocks him down, but he's out to the 25. Made up the loss from the previous play. Got him 5 more. He motions away. Prukop keeps. He'll get the first down, lunging to the marker. And the Ducks, after that fresh set of downs, come to the line quickly, as that tempo offense already is. Here's the throw to the outside, knocked away.
And as Oregon would tell you, first downs beget tempo. Well, I think they're actually doing a good job. That long 3rd down conversion really hurt them on the last drive.
Prukop throws it away as he's being wrestled to the ground.
But I think they're doing a good job of trying to pressure the quarterback, which we talked about. Here's just overpowering everybody. And nice job. He gets out of the tackle box so you can throw that away, but that's relentless pressure from that Virginia defense, and that's what you need.
Well, see if they can get a stop on 3rd and 10. Into the hands of Pharaoh Brown. He'll be close, but he'll be shy of first down yardage.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense, number 13, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And it really doesn't matter. See him coming off the edge here, and the ball's gone. He continues. If he laid off right there instead of taking him to the ground, I think he'd be okay. But right there, when you wrap up and take him to the ground after the ball's away, that's going to get called.
So after not being penalized a week ago, that's the 6th penalty on the Cavs. And gives the Ducks a fresh set of downs, and Royce Freeman tries to make them pay. He'll be across the 40, down to about the 38 before Stephen Wright brings him down. And so Freeman, with that yardage, moves into the all-time career top 10 for all-purpose yards here in Oregon. And he'll add more to his total here.
Plus, I believe that probably puts him over 100 yards on the night, at least at this point.
Got to keep. He'll slide down just at the 25-yard line, but he slid sideways, didn't really slide feet first.
The other thing, this blur offense challenges the conditioning and the fatigue factor for the defense, and I think Virginia's defense has been on the field a long time now.
Going the other way, Kenai Benoit will be inside the 20. Junior from Phoenix. And here's Pharaoh Brown. But what a story Brown is to see him catching passes. Remember a couple of years ago, had a devastating injury on November 8th, 2014. Had not just ACL, MCL damage, but circulatory damage. Nearly lost his leg. Missed all of last year, grueling rehab. Got back to action for the first time last week, and he is so happy to be playing football. And listen to the roar!
Dedication he has put in to come back from that traumatic injury is amazing. And he's not as nimble as he once was, but he's actually a better blocker. He still has the range, he has the hands, and he has a future.
What must be going on in that young man's mind right now? Not just back playing football, but back in the end zone for the Ducks. And now the point after try, will it be Aiden Schneider, or will they go for two? One can never tell.
Missing a player.
It was Brown.
Yeah, I forgot. I was celebrating a little bit too much.
Yeah. And Snyder's touchdown, point after try is good. But what was going through Brown's mind after the touchdown certainly wasn't that he had to be on the point after try team.
Exactly right. Fake wide screen and go. He just pretends like he's going out there to block. Instead, he sneaks in the end zone, catches the ball, and the crowd erupts.
Logan's kick will go 9 yards deep into the end zone. Time for 1,000, Adnan, for sure. Down goes Benkert, the Virginia quarterback. Jalen Jelks again, 97.
Jelks, in my mind, is probably the best pure pass rusher that the Ducks have. They line him up, and here he comes. You can see him right here coming from the left side of your screen. Just gets through right over the top of the man. They had another guy coming clean. I think it took away the eyes of the defender. But the reality is that's a great job.
Here's Albert Reed. What a first half he's had.
The Ducks may consider taking timeouts, which I think they are doing. I wonder what the noise level is there.
Benkert to throw. Trying to get a bunch into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Brendan Schooler.
Yeah, that's the freshman. I'll tell you what, they talk about he's a ball hawk, and I know he finally got the play from center field. Brady Hoke talked about his safeties need to patrol the field, make sure no passes. He was a free guy. Ball was thrown up in the air. We can take a look at it right now as we watch. And he just goes up, high points the ball, which is great. Does he have control? Looks like he does as he hits the ground.
Yeah.
Play should stand.
Now the true freshman from Dana Point, California, who had 91 tackles and 3 interceptions last year as a high school senior, was first team All-State for California large schools. And Brady Hoke said he showed us on the scout team, in camp, and on special teams this fall that he deserved to be on the field. Nothing going there for Freeman. Wrapped up and knocked down by Stephen Wright. Aiden Schneider's career long field goal is a 47-yarder downfield, looking for Carrington. Did he catch it? They say yes. Up to throw again, looking for more. And Carrington just tackled on the outside by Miles Robinson. He was beaten. Kept it from being a touchdown.
And that's a smart play. In all reality, you don't like it sometimes as a defensive coach or an offensive coach, but it's
defense,
the smartest play
14.
in that situation.
First down.
Freeman chased to the sideline and run out of bounds by the same Miles Robinson. Virginia.
Timeout. Virginia. Their second. 30-second timeout.
So Dakota Prukop, the Oregon quarterback, trying to direct his team into the end zone. Throws over the middle. Carrington has it down to the 10-yard line. Once again knocked down by Robinson. No one lined up far side. Trips receivers low. Freeman gets the handoff into the line. And he'll get bent backwards at about the 7-yard line. Prukop with time, and a receiver knocked away from Devin Allen. Juan Thornhill got a hand in there and knocked it away.
Did a good job. Devin Allen couldn't quite get that other arm free. They were caught and tangled and wanted to get both hands on the ball. Nice patience by Prukop, a nice protection by the Ducks to allow him to run that route that long.
Devin Allen just back with the football team not all that long after his trip down to Rio, where he finished 5th in the 110-meter hurdles for the United States. Straight line speed not a problem, but according to defensive coordinator Brady Hoke, cutting was something he had to relearn football skills-wise. Freeman taken out of bounds at the 1. Good hands. Good pass catcher. So who gets the ball here? 3rd and goal. Prukop pulls it back out, but he's wrapped up in the backfield. Jordan Mack, the true freshman linebacker, makes the read and makes the stop.
Did a good job. I think that was probably a mistake by Prukop in terms of that read. He probably should have given it. I'd take my chances with Royce Freeman handling the football rather than me in a stop-start situation with a defensive end / linebacker.
Fans buzzing, trying to encourage Mark Helfrich to go for it. Helfrich standing out of the field watching the clock wind down, and he will signal timeout here with 2 seconds to go in the half.
Oregon.
17 rushes, 110 yards to go with 2 catches and 29 yards. He's been a machine tonight.
Well, the display of power, ability to finish plays, speed, smoothness, he's got it all. Like I said, they're showcasing him tonight. Maybe they didn't use him as much as they would have liked last week against Davis. He's certainly getting his touches on the rock.
Knocks it through and put 3 more on the board. And your halftime score will be 30-6 after a 59-yard drive in 9 plays that soaked up the final 2:12 of this first half. ESPN College Football's Saturday finale is presented by Geico. Second half kickoff dropped at the 5-yard line, picked back up again. Brooks James will make something out of it, out to the 20-yard line. Let's check downstairs for more on
Bronco Mendenhall has been stressing body language all week. How will they react now down 24 points? Earlier this week, he showed them film of BYU last year in the bowl game when they were down 21 points, and they were cheering, kept their heads up. And then he showed them video from their game last week against Richmond when they were moping. No one was talking to each other. So we'll have to see how that message resonates the rest of the second half.
Yeah, Chris, you knew it was going to be a big test for them coming west. First of all, just coming out here to play at Autzen, one of the toughest home fields to come into in all of college football. But now, facing this deficit, Bronco's going to get a real read on his team's character here.
Well, the time zone difference, the quality and caliber of the opponent, you're right, the score right now. I think as we watch this game, watch how it develops on the sideline, because as a coach, you want your kids to believe that they can win and to trust each other, trust the coaches. We're going to put in a plan. Sometimes it doesn't always work, but it's eventually got to work out because you got to believe in it first.
Freeman's not done getting his touches. A couple there to start this second half for Freeman.
That's true, because he likes this team, and he liked the grit and determination they did in the conditioning workouts and weight training.
Prukop hit as he throws, and it falls incomplete, sorry.
He didn't like how that transferred to the game. He didn't see the same determination. He says, guys, take that same effort intensity into the. We're going to try to win this game. Do we believe we can win?
Yep.
We're going to find out from Bronco tonight.
Well, defense generated a 3 and out. As he pulls it in at the 37-yard line. But every team has a personality, and the Cavs were still trying to understand what the personality of this offense was going to be, as Jordan Ellis makes a nice first down carry. Benkert will throw on the outside, brought in nicely by Donnie Dowling, made a nice adjustment to get back to the ball.
as the team gets some first downs, watch the energy and enthusiasm on the sidelines. Are their kids up cheering the people on that are on the field? That's going to be key.
To me, agree or disagree, the difference in the first half were two drives. One, the first one where Virginia drove the ball all the way down deep into Oregon territory and came away with no points. And then the other one where the punter dropped the ball at the 1-yard line and the Oregon offense went 99 yards the other way.
We're playing, it's about us, guys. We need to execute better on both sides of the ball. They're going to need a couple touchdowns to get back in this game.
He throws again toward Dubois, and a flag comes in on Arian Springs for Oregon. Bodied him up a little bit.
He did. I don't know if that ball was catchable.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. First down.
But obviously the officials did, because to call pass interference, you must believe he could catch the arm bar right there. That's probably the whole key, right? He did get his head back, but the early arm bar, I think, is what cost him.
All right, so advance the ball up, reset the sticks, and the Cavs at the 21-yard line going in. Benford throws, dropped. Far sideline, that was Dowling again. Taquan Mizell with the carry before Daquan McDowell knocks him down. Haven't seen Mizell a lot tonight. There's Mizell again. He'll rumble for a few. Will he get enough to get the first? So it's not first and goal because they're just outside the 10.
Which I used to love as a coach, because you can call plays a little bit differently, know you can get that first down down there.
Benford throws near side. Olamide Zacchaeus gets inside the 5 before he's chased out at the 3. Near side, reaching for the end zone. Mizell has the Virginia touchdown. Well, that's a nice response out of the locker room for the Cavs, both on defense and offense. Now Dylan Sims on and puts the point after try through. Nice start to this second half for Virginia. I've never been, but that's just such a great event.
I haven't. I've got several friends who just rave about it. That and Wimbledon are two of the most exciting things in their lives.
Kickoff through the end zone, and the Oregon offense will start on the touchback. Okay, not recruited out of high school by FBS teams. 0 offers, enrolled at FCS Montana State after sitting for a couple of years. Came on a little bit 2 years ago, but then last year, oh my goodness, he lit the sky up in Big Sky Country.
It's a great line. I love that. Yeah, he was all everything, and he passed up that opportunity to come to Oregon, where Vernon Adams had sort of pioneered that path, coming over from the Big Sky to lead the Ducks last year. And I think he saw that and said, I think I can do that. And he had a lot of suitors, but I think lucky for Oregon, he chose the Ducks.
So his team starts at the 20-yard line, and there goes Freeman. Flag comes in, though. And check the flag as Freeman's all the way out to the 45-yard line, but this one might be coming back.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty. First down.
All right, so while they reset the ball, yeah, we talked about Prukop not being heavily recruited out of high school. Might have been a reason for that, huh, Chris?
Yeah, Alan, I talked to his high school coach, Drew Sanders, this week. That's because people couldn't find it on a map. It was a brand new school. He only had 28 players on his varsity team. Fast forward a couple years, when Oregon was interested in Prukop, they emailed Coach Sanders because he hadn't gotten his release. They weren't allowed to contact him. Well, Sanders was so shocked he thought it was spam mail. So he called Oregon. He said, did you mean to email me? Yeah, we did. It all became very real when Texas, Michigan, and Alabama also emailed him.
Yeah, and Coach Helfrich very glad that Prukop ended up here. They also have a couple of young freshman quarterbacks they're very high on here in Eugene. Prukop looking deep and overthrows Darren Carrington and incomplete. And just what a tremendous season he had last year, where he threw for some 3,025 passing yards, 28 touchdowns against only 10 interceptions. He also ran for almost 800 yards. He throws that one complete on the near side. Hang on to the ball. That was Pharaoh Brown who had that ball kind of hanging out there for a minute. So I'm sure it made the coach cringe. Under pressure, takes the hit, throws to a wide open receiver. The sprinter is sprinting down the sideline. Devin Allen has the Oregon touchdown. And a little hurdle celebration in the end zone too. How about that?
He ran right from the Olympics over the hurdles to the football stadium into the end zone, and the fans love it.
They needed to try that high five again, though.
You can see that he's up top. I thought this was a great throw by Dakota Prukop under pressure. Allen just runs straight down the hash, just inside the hash. The ball is perfectly thrown, but he catches it in stride, and then very few people are ever going to catch him if he's got a lead of a stride or two.
And will, in fact, kick. Well, Devin Allen, just the fourth active college football player to qualify for the Summer Olympics in track and field. Finished fifth in the 110-meter hurdles. He didn't have to hurdle anybody here. Just had to keep from tripping on those yard markers all the way to the goal line.
ESPN College Football.
The quick strike Oregon offense strikes quickly. Just 3 plays covering 75 yards. And the touchdown pass from Dakota Prukop to Devin Allen widens the Oregon advantage over Virginia. And the other impressive thing about this is that throw, the quarterback was under pressure.
Yeah, look at the pressure. See the guy coming right in his face. He doesn't see the guy next to him, but he takes that heat, he stares it down, he doesn't worry about that. But also watch the accuracy of this throw. That's that release. This guy catches it right on stride, 2 yards outside the hash, right where the play is designed to be completed. And then it helps to give a guy Devin Allen like that a little step. And yeah, that was a great play by Prukop. That is the type of play that validates Mark Helfrich's decision to recruit him.
Dakota Prukop told us yesterday when we talked to him that he is obsessive about the throwing motion. That was his word, obsessive, breaking it down into its smallest parts. So now another challenge here for the Virginia offense. They had the nice drive downfield on their last possession. Benkert under pressure, down he goes. Gus Cumberlander in the game for the Ducks.
This was a dash type play. The quarterback drops back and then comes out to the side. He rolls and is supposed to seal that side. Great job by the end, staying up the field, staying disciplined, and then finding the quarterback, tossing him to the turf.
Benkert making time, throws, has a receiver. Dowling makes one miss, still going. Dowling almost out to midfield. He's out at the 44-yard line.
Nice job of pressure by the Ducks, force him out of the pocket, but nice job throwing back across your body, which is not always advisable. But Dowling also retreats and then gets the first down. Huge key play to keep this drive alive.
They move the pocket again. Benkert throws near side, but defended nicely by Arion Springs.
And to the credit of Virginia, they are moving the pocket to protect the quarterback, and that's a tribute to the pressure that Oregon is bringing. You got to catch that ball. It's a nice job on defense. Aaron Springs right there, blowing it up as the ball hit the receiver's hands, but still, receivers have to catch that type of pass.
Benkert going to air it out near side, and receiver and defender tangled up, and it will go incomplete. It was Springs and Dubois again.
The front seven, however they play with it, 3-4, 4-3, 5-2, whatever the case may be, it's still how you play in the back end. And right now, the pressure of the Oregon defense, they're like a pack of hungry dogs coming after the quarterback as a piece of meat back there. Brady Hope, the defensive coordinator we just saw there, he's a guy that Mark Helfrich said when he walked into the room, it was his physical presence, it's the way he talked, it was the energy he brought that convinced him he should be the guy. It wasn't about the scheme, it was about the person.
Yep. The excellent punter for the Cavs, Nicholas Conti, boots it away. Here's Nelson, tripped up. Was that Reed who got all the way down there and got a mid on him? And now more extracurriculars. Draws the attention of officials and flags. And pushing and shoving.
And neither coach wants that, I guarantee you. There are going to be multiple flags. I know the Ducks are guilty for sure.
Brooks James getting
After
collared.
the play, personal foul. Number 20 on the return team, half a distance to the goal. First down.
That's late, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You've got to keep your cool. I don't know what happened. I think he was trying to protect his player or whatever. But when you come in late like that, you're just going to guarantee you get a 15-yard penalty, and you hurt your team.
For Charles Woodson, Matt Hasselback, and Randy Moss. Look forward to that tomorrow. Here is Freeman. Get out to the 15-yard line. as he continues to pad his totals on the night. That went so wrong led to the bringing in of Brady Hope. What's he trying to establish?
Well, he wants to change the culture. But I'm going to let this finish the play because Freeman is off to the races right now.
Afterburners on. Destination end zone for Royce Freeman.
Did I say he's pretty fast, too? Jalen Brown threw a great block. I hope we can see it on the replay because he sort of made that play happen.
That'll pad your numbers on the night. 85 yards and 1 carry.
Little counter play, great block at the line of scrimmage. Nice move right there to avoid the tackle in. A nice block right there, as we talked about, down the field. Now, this guy's carried the ball a bunch. He's not a power back. He's got it all. He's got the speed to finish. And that's what he talked about, making more big plays this year.
And Schneider's point after try is good. Well, if any of the East Coast voters might have gone to bed a little early on this college football Saturday night, they'll see that Royce Freeman has had, even just to this point, 207 yards on the ground.
You don't mean East Coast bias, do you?
Absolutely not. 5 yards deep into the end zone, and Joe Reed will take a knee for Virginia. You tagged him Rolls-Royce earlier in the night. I've run with it a little bit. He's run with the ball all night.
Yeah, I like the night that he's had, over 200 yards, plus another 29 receiving, but combination of breaking tackles, lowering his shoulder, finding holes, making holes, and then basically just outraging people, showing flashes of that kind of speed, the things that he wants to do this year, make more explosive plays, more big plays. Check, check, and check, accomplished tonight.
Absolutely. That was a career-long run for Freeman, that 85-yarder for a touchdown. So the Cavs offense back on the field with Kurt Benkert throwing the quick hitter outside. Gets that one out to Keon Johnson.
He should go away from that, and they heard me talking. So nice job of attacking the middle. That's something that has been a weakness for Oregon tonight. That exact play right there, and certainly Oregon is going to look at it, and Virginia needs to keep running.
Let's take one, Mizell. Across midfield and into Virginia territory. We started to talk earlier about Brady Hope being the new defensive coordinator for Oregon and what he wants to accomplish, why he was brought in here by Mark Helfrich.
Well, he was brought in because he's a great football coach. He's been the coach of the year at 3 different teams in 3 different conferences. The question mark is he's never been a defensive coordinator at the college level. He has the knowledge and the understanding. He's got the energy, and it's not about scheme. It's what he wants to do, but I think Mark entrusted the defense to Brady because he likes who Brady is. He likes what he says. He likes his influence on the players. And certainly it's a growing thing. It's not something that's fixed overnight. Brady talked about the fact of needing to recruit the right kind of guys, the kind of guys that are aggressive, the kind of guys that he can hear practice.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to watch practice. He wants to hear practice.
There you see some of the coaching resume on Brady Hope. And it's a really interesting situation, him coming in here, because the coach who's been serving as defensive coordinator here in the recent years is still here and on the staff. That's Don Pelham, who's now the linebackers coach. Talked to Mark Helfrich about that. Yeah, was it gonna? He said, no. Everybody has been tremendous about it and made it work really well.
Well, DP has been here for a long time. He worked for Coach Brooks. He worked for me. He worked for Chip Kelly. He's a loyal soldier. He's a great coach for his position. He's a great recruiter. He handled it. He knew last couple years had not worked out like they wanted. He was very comfortable, probably very excited to keep his job. And the reality is I think he and Brady have got along well. Brady has said that the guys he inherited on the defensive staff, he really, really likes.
Albert Reed, the senior for Virginia, with another nice carry before he's knocked down. So when you look at this Oregon defense, and you look at some of their ranks, there are only 127 teams in FBS.
It was pretty ranked, actually, when you look at the ranks.
Yes, so. very good. Very good. Don't try this at home, right?
Well, there was definitely a need for improvement. And whether the system, the 4-3 going to it, is going to be the answer, who knows? But the reality is they had to do a better job against the run, a better job against the pass, and a better job of not giving up.
There's one of them. That's Brendan Schooler, the freshman from California, who's earned his way into the rotation onto this field.
We got a pick tonight. He's also one of the most instinctive players, as Brady Hope talked about.
is under further review.
I think they want to look and see if that was actually a reception on the last play out.
Ooh, I think
I think
it
that might
bounced
be
off
coming
the
back.
turf right there. It looked like there was a little bit of movement on the ball up, unless he tipped it to himself.
Pac-12 replay official Jim Northcutt looking at it. Taquan Mizell, did he scoop that off the turf with the fingertips or not? That's hard to tell.
Yeah, is there another angle that shows from the side? I think it's tough. That's the one. Whatever the call was on the field should stand. Now that.
Yeah, okay, that hit the turf.
Bounced. Yeah,
that one's coming back. Anyway,
as I was saying though about if you're an Oregon defensive coach, the offense scores a lot of points, but they score very quickly. You play a lot of time and a lot of downs on defense. So what happens typically is you tend to play a lot of people. So it benefits your team in that you get experience for a lot of players who get quality playing time to keep the starters fresh. The time and the
After
field
further
position
review,
and that type of thing.
it was determined that the pass was incomplete. It will be 2nd and 10 at the 32. Please reset the game clock to 2:22.
Almost picked off. Arion Springs almost had that one in his hands, and there was no one between him and the goal line. Benkert throws off the hands of Keon Johnson, incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down and long. Benkert throws. It's behind his intended receiver, Johnson, and the ball will go over to Oregon on downs.
Holding on the defense, number 8. 10-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Reggie Daniels. Benkert did such a good job of keeping that play alive with his feet. Well, okay, that was way early. I was thinking it happened a little bit later than that.
No, you're right.
Never mind.
That is always called, no matter what.
Hand off up the middle to Jordan Ellis. Ellis gets popped. Cracked by Fotu Leato.
97 Jelts, you can't arm tackle. If that's your gap, you've got to get your head across, get your body in front.
And timeout by the Cavs. Of course, the Bama boys did nothing to dispel the notion that they should remain number 1, other than Nick Saban wasn't happy with their game after.
He was not happy. He said he's been most disappointed after a victory he's ever been, and I believe him. He was not very happy on the sideline a couple times.
Don't you love seeing Ohio State and Michigan side by side in the rankings?
I do. Actually, I'd move them up in my own rankings, and I thought Clemson did not play very well. I don't buy that you played down to your opponent. I think if you're a top 5 ranked team in the nation in the championship last year, you can't play down to your opponent. You got to play up to your level that you create. My top 4, if we put it in there somewhere, I'll tell you what, I like Alabama still. They're really good. But I move Ohio State up, Michigan, and then I'd say Florida State. I was disappointed in Clemson this week.
1st and goal for Virginia. Benkert stands in, throws, couldn't get turned around. Olamide Zaccheaus, no flag, and it falls incomplete.
Great job of staying with him, doesn't get his eyes back, but keeps his hand out there and just tries to distract the receiver.
Kind of kept Zaccheaus' left hand occupied. Benkert throws, and the receiver tangled up with the defender. Mizell got turned around by Tyree Robinson, and the flag comes in.
Tyree is the most physical
Pass
cover guy.
Defense, number 2, 1st down.
We talked about, and Brady Hoke said, the best red zone cover guy is Tyree Robinson because he's the most physical. But you could be a little bit too physical. Watch right here. Gets his hands on him and then pushes him away and doesn't get back to the ball. Really, when you raise your hands like that, it's sort of, my hand got caught in the cookie jar.
When that receiver's shoulder pads lifting up off his shoulder right in front of the referee,
yes,
it's probably going to get you a ticket. Ellis pulls his way down inside the 2, and another flag on the field.
Holding, offense, number 50, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
2nd one tonight, maybe 3rd one tonight on the center, Jackson
Here in the
Mateo.
middle of the field, you can see him right there. Take a look at what happens as this thing goes. And that's not bad, except when it's the takedown approach at the end. He didn't have to do that. The ball was already past him.
Down goes Benkert. Austin Meloata with the sack.
You got to cancel gaps, worry about the run. They get a little twist there, and he plays off of the blocker, would-be blocker, and the quarterback had no chance. But that's what you want. Get to him before he has any option throwing the ball down the field.
And Kurt tucks it. Scampers out of bounds at the 14. And more flags will come flying in from 3 different directions as the quarterback was hit after he'd given up and gone out of bounds.
Yeah, and young, sometimes it's young
Personal
players.
foul. Defense, number 35. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
I can give a little bit to Troy Dye because he's such an aggressive player. He's made 2 penalties tonight. He got a great job of 11 tackles last week, 4.5 tackles for loss. But right here, this is ridiculous. And no matter his freshman status doesn't excuse that.
Well, it got him a trip to the sidelines. And Kurt throws, got a receiver. Touchdown, Virginia. Warren Kraft into the end zone.
You see, this is sort of a mesh route. You're going to watch a crossing route here. Come underneath, get lost in the shuffle, and lose your DB cover guy. Great protection from the offensive line, and nice toss by the quarterback. Bought time to get him all the way across the field.
Sims knocks it through. Nice job by Matt Johns to grab the high snap and get the ball down in place. And so the Cavs offense still plugging away, and they have not had an awful night here. It's not been great, but it's not been bad. I'm just curious at what point Mark Helfrich might decide that Dakota Prukop has had enough for one night, and we might see the young freshman Justin Herbert, who we were sort of suggested to, we might get to see tonight for more than just the final snap of the game that he got last week against UC Davis. From inside the end zone, here's Nelson. Gets stacked up and dropped just shy of the 25-yard line. So as this third quarter comes to an
end of the third quarter. Timeout.
The Ducks started the quarter with a 24-point lead, and they end the quarter with a 24-point lead. Watching the 24th ranked Ducks trying to go to 2-0 on the season. Tony Brooks James with that carry. Justin Herbert, we'll see if he winds up in the game. Didn't last week except for 1 snap at the end of the game.
And I think they'd like to see more of him. I think this game may allow them to do that because they want to give him some real time where you can see real pressure, not just take a knee. That's not really getting to be a better football player.
Fumble, picked right back up, and then fumbled again, but out of bounds by Brooks James. That whole play was an adventure. Did you see the move Dakota Prukop made to fake off the rusher? Prukop throws. There's Devin Allen. Made 2 of them miss.
And Devin Allen, one of the things that he didn't have when he first came back was he didn't have the stop-start mechanism, the change of lanes. When you run hurdles, you run straight on the track. He's becoming a better football player daily.
Brooks James gets the edge, but then is chased right to the sidelines and falls out of bounds. Flag has come in.
Holding. Offense. Number 79. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Basically 2 different occasions.
Yes, I did. Actually, I tried to, well, I hired him as a GA. He went to college down in Southern Oregon, was a great player. I had actually tried to get him to walk on here, but he got a scholarship and played very, very well. And then he went to Europe and played semi-pro football over there. And he came back and he said, his high school coach called me and said, Mike, would you be interested in hiring Mark Helfrich? I said, where is he? When can he be here? Yeah. I remember him. He's a great kid, very intelligent. And then I suggested to Chip when I went up to BAD and he became the head coach that the guy he should look at as offensive coordinator was Mark Helfrich. And eventually he got hired. So I did have a little bit of a hand in it.
Pass incomplete in the direction of Pharaoh Brown. Mark is not the highest volume football coach you'll ever hear as far as during practice and on the field. Very pleasant to speak to and very methodical about what he does and the way they have the whole program structured here, carrying on what you and others started before him.
Well, he inherited huge shoes from Chip Kelly. There's no question about it. He's been to a national championship, and there's probably some people in the nation would say he's never going to arrive until he wins a national championship. Great scramble by Dakota Prukop, by the way. But I believe the expectations are so high. He has met those. He doesn't let that worry him. He doesn't worry about what he does. He likes his staff. He loves his players. He didn't like the end of last season, yes, but he knows the only way to make up for that is to play well this year. Okay?
At first, the Wheeler kick. And that is going to take a bounce and an Oregon bounce and be grabbed by Brooks James at the 22-yard line. fourth quarter in Eugene. Mark Helfrich's Ducks are up big. Loved what they did between the third and fourth quarters here. They played the some Animal House music. Otis Day and the Knights. And everybody would shout. Thank you. Everybody was on their feet and having a big time. It was fun. Well, a couple things here. First of all, we talked about body language and attitude. This is Quinn Blanding, one of the defensive leaders for the Cavs, speaking to the offense who's lined up on the sideline waiting to go in during that last timeout.
Yeah, and I don't think he's giving up. I'm sure he's going to make sure his teammates don't either.
Benkert to Jordan Ellis. Nice yardage over the left side. He'll be across the 30 to the 32. So, Mike, we were talking about Oregon. You as head coach here went 116-55. So almost 70% of your games you won here over the 14 years you were the head coach, plus the other time you spent as an assistant under Rich Brooks and here at Oregon. You helped build this program, as we have a Duck player down on the field. That's A.J. Hotchkins. You helped build this program into what it was. Now we turn around, and this period of time later, expectations on Mark Helfrich. We had 4 losses last season. Ooh. You know, and so are the expectations fair?
I don't know if they're fair. They've risen because of success, and you create your own expectations. If you don't go to a BCS game or a national playoff game now, fans are disappointed. And that's okay, because when you set their sights high, I think as coaches and players, we all want to play in the best games and win every game that we play. But the reality is you can't and don't, and oftentimes you have to take sometimes the good with the bad. But I think Mark Helfrich is doing a great job. I think he's hiring the right people and doing it the right way. Can they be better? Absolutely. That's why he made a change on defense. He has a wealth of talent on offense. He found a quarterback from another school, Dakota Puka, for the second year in a row, brought in somebody that's going to make this program better. So I think the expectations, he is part of the group that built those expectations.
Benkert looking for a place to go, dumps it at the feet of his intended receiver, Warren Kraft. You're talking about, I get just those gaudy numbers that you achieved coaching this team, yet there was a point you had to do, as you were telling us the story, and I want you to tell the story, you had to have an intervention with your team. What in the world?
Well, that started after the Las Vegas Bowl in, I think, 2006, and we were beat soundly by BYU and a Bronco Mendenhall coach team. And I just never felt like we recovered from that. I didn't recover. We were out-coached, outplayed, and the energy that we demonstrated on the sideline was not what I wanted. So we needed to do something.
Short gain there for Jordan Ellis. So what'd you do?
Well, I decided to have an intervention. John Neal, who's on the staff still, said, you know, Bronco had done something when he had some issues. He kidnapped the team, so I did that basically same thing. I had buses pull up. I told the team to report at 7 p.m. to the Cas Center or whatever it was, and we booked them out to Camp Harlow. And we took them and started at 7 p.m. We did a lot of soul searching. What we did basically was put stuff up on the wall and say, okay, this is what we liked about the program, wrote it down. This is what we didn't like about the program, wrote it down.
Third down play here. Benkert complete. It's Keon Johnson, but not, did he get enough to get the first down? Yeah, he got enough, just got enough, yeah.
So I had the players write me a letter, what they liked, what they didn't like, and if they didn't like something, how could we fix it?
Yep.
So we agreed upon certain solutions. And at the end of that thing, we took what we liked and we kept it. We took the solution list, we kept it. We burnt the things we didn't like. We threw it in the fire. It was a bonfire type thing, and said we got rid of that stuff. And it broke down the barriers. Coaches talk to coaches, coaches talk to players. Everybody held themselves responsible.
Nice pitch and catch. Benkert to Warren Kraft, and a nice gain across midfield for the Cavs on this drive to keep the sticks moving. So now you flip that back to Bronco Mendenhall, who is very creative and has worked very hard since taking over this Virginia program at team building, tearing down the culture that was there and trying to build it in and mold it into the culture that it needs to be in order to win.
And does it happen overnight? No. It's going to take some time, but it takes effort. It takes a bounce of the ball, a little bit of luck. It takes coming back and winning a game you might not or should not be able to win, but it takes the energy and the commitment of the players and the coaches in the program.
Benkert hit as he goes out of bounds. No flag. It was a good hit.
And I think as much right now, Bronco will be watching not just what happens on the field, but what happens on the sideline with this team. What Chris had talked about earlier, the body language, and just the idea that they're in this together. He likes his team. He likes the effort, the energy. He likes their intelligence. They just have to translate that to performance on the field.
Mendenhall told us that the hill's a little bit bigger than he thought, but he's got
a little steeper climb than originally anticipated.
Oregon, they're first.
Ducks take a timeout. During the timeout, a cart came onto the field over to the Oregon bench, and middle linebacker A.J. Hotchkins was put onto it and taken back toward the locker room. Not really able to provide you any more information than what used to go in the ball game. 2nd and 16. Kurt Benkert throws and gets some of it back. That's Donnie Dowling on the far side. So we're talking about Bronco Mendenhall and trying to rebuild the culture of this team. One of the things he thought was a great advantage to him in doing that is he brought almost his entire staff from BYU intact with him to Charlottesville. He said, we know what the message is, and we have a consistency of message because we've done it together in Provo.
Well, it's sort of a neat thing. I think that proves how much they like and trust Bronco Mendenhall and believe in what he's espousing. And you're right, hearing the same message from every coach on the staff rather than have to retrain coaches makes Bronco's job easier too.
A great night for Albert Reed continues inside the 20-yard line for the Cavaliers senior running back out of Washington, D.C. Off the hands of Keon Johnson, and incomplete, almost popped up into the air where a defender could get at it.
I feel he has the talent right now to do what he wants to do, but I'll tell you what, they are great coaches, and just as you're watching right now, they're going to find a way to get this ball in the end zone and keep this game close and motivate his players and show them when you can see development from week to week. And they lost to Richmond last week, an FCS opponent. They're competing, they're being beat right now, but competing with Oregon, a top-ranked, top 25 team in the nation.
Aren't a lot of teams that come in here to Autzen and win. Reaching for the pylon. Touchdown, Virginia. Keon Johnson.
And as we speak, Benkert delivers. Yeah,
it's close.
Yeah, it's hard to tell where the knee
close.
is down.
The left knee and the ball.
I think they're going to give it, at least nothing we can see. We don't see a knee down here. We're extending. The other knee might be down. At the point you can discern that, I think he's made contact with the pylon.
Yeah, I think he got it. Movement. Right tackle Eric Smith picked up out of his stance.
Start. Offense, number 72. 5-yard penalty, try for point.
Benkert throws, and it is around Warren Kraft and falls incomplete, and the try will not be good. Kickoff out of the end zone, and the Oregon offense will come back onto the field.
300 yards passing almost and over 200 rushing. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good night. And that is what we expect. We've come to expect, I think, Oregon fans have come to expect from the Oregon offense. The quarterback's going to throw it, they're going to run it, but Royce Freeman busted out. Last week, I think a lot of people thought they kept him under wraps. Maybe they didn't need him against UC Davis. They needed him tonight. He delivered.
And hands off. This is Kenai Benoit with the carry coming toward the near side. Wrapped up and dropped by Zach Bradshaw. So Oregon here up by what? A pile in the fourth quarter. 7 minutes left in the game, and yet they're still going to run this tempo offense and come to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's an interesting deal. I know a lot of times as a coach, you'd want to take time off the clock here, slow it down. So they'll do this. They'll be in a survey mode. They'll get no huddle still. But when you slow it down, oftentimes the players lose a little bit of focus, and you have to really train them to stay and keep that edge, even though you're trying to slow it down and take time off the clock.
Nice tackle on Benoit, wrapped up there by Kelvin Ramey for Virginia.
And oftentimes, one of the benefits of the blur offense is you tire out the opponent. You cause some consternation among their calls and their communication from the sideline onto the field. Nice job of getting the first down. One of the things I forgot to mention, and maybe the most important things coming out of the intervention. One was the win the day motto that we created during that meeting at Camp Harlow. Chip Kelly made the comment, we had this team pledge, and we said, well, can we whittle that thing down and make it more sense? And he came up with the idea, win the day, and we accepted that night as our motto going forward. 2007 a season, 9 wins and a bowl victory, a number 2 ranking that we lost, unfortunately, when Dennis Dixon went down. and then a 10-victory season in 2008 with a bowl victory over Oklahoma State. So there were some positives came out of it. I think it helped to refresh our organization.
And that win today, tracing it all the way back, basically inspired by Bronco Mendenhall, and something that went back to John Neal's time with Bronco.
That's true. Duck Nation or Duck fans may not want to give him credit, but he does deserve it.
The 10th penalty.
Number 9, 5-yard penalty, second down.
What I'll say as a coach is when you have penalties, you don't want penalties before the snap or after the whistle.
Benoit dragged down, but he's across midfield and down to the 42-yard line. Also next weekend, Florida State, Louisville. Did you watch Louisville against Syracuse Friday? I know you did.
Oh my God, Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
I don't know how 400 yards rushing and whatever he had. I don't even know. It was so amazing. He hurdled guys, he ran around guys, he ran through guys. He's scary. And that'll be, I don't know if they have enough lights in the scoreboard for that game.
DeAndre Francois for the Noles, and continue to hand off to Benoit, who's getting his share of work here in this fourth quarter. So what have we learned that we didn't really know at the beginning of the season?
Well, I think a couple things. One, that Washington is a really, really good football team, probably as advertised. I think Utah is a really good football team, and they think that they have a quarterback now. USC is not as bad as it appeared after the Alabama game. I think if you watch the game in person, there was a windfall at the end of the second quarter for Alabama, and USC never recovered. UCLA is a pretty good football team that lost a close game on the road. Stanford is good. Stanford is the real deal. They're a great defense, and Christian McCaffrey is a guy that's going to carry the ball a lot of different ways. So I still like Stanford and Oregon and Washington in the north, and I think Utah, USC, and UCLA in the south.
Some big games next weekend as Stanford and SC play. And a flag on the field.
Holding on the offense, number 5. We will measure to see if a first down was gained before determining the result of the penalty.
Can we be at all 3 of those games? I'd love to watch those games. I think they'll be great football games.
Yeah.
2 great teams, and I think great matchups.
Absolutely.
Holding, offense number 5. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is short of the first down. First down, Virginia.
All right, so the ball goes over on downs.
Timeout, needed.
And a timeout here in Eugene.
Yeah, I can't pick one. I like to be at all of them, but I think that Texas versus California, Cal better get ready because Texas has hit their stride, playing those 2 quarterbacks and getting the most out of both of them, I think.
Going to be some great games next weekend. Mizell with some yardage as he's out near midfield. So as we get under 3 minutes to go here, let's look ahead for the Cavs here for just a minute.
They got a chance against UConn.
Okay, intercepted. Intercepted and run back by Khalil Oliver, and the ball will go over to the Ducks.
Right in here. We got to talk about that guy's got to make plays wherever the ball's thrown. He's a free hitter. He sees the ball. He's got to make a play. He's got to get there. Watch him break on the ball right there. High point it. That's perfect. That's what you want. That's what you teach. But you got to be able to do it in the game.
Sideline, Dakota Prukop comes back in and is still heading this Oregon offense. And Kenai Benoit still getting handed the ball.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised they have Prukop still in there.
Yeah.
I thought this might be a perfect time to see Justin Herbert, the young, true freshman they really like and feel will be competitive and will need to play if Dakota Prukop should be dinged at all.
Timeout. Virginia
has just called a timeout.
Please reset the game clock to 2.
There's Justin Herbert as we talk about him. Saw Neil Everett here earlier.
Yes, he announced the starting lineups. That was pretty cool. He's an Oregon grad.
Yep.
Does a lot to help the program.
I was watching SportsCenter last night. Neil was anchoring with my pal Nicole Briscoe, and I heard him say, "Yeah, I'm going to that game." And I said, "Oh, I am too."
How did he do that?
These things called airplanes, they're magical, aren't they? That's Taj Griffin with the carry, a sophomore from the Atlanta area, Powder Springs, Georgia.
Virginia, their final timeout of the half.
Plays the string out on the night, and the stars of the night, if you had to pick them, certainly would be Royce Freeman and Dakota Prukop for Oregon.
Well, there's no question. It'd be real easy. Talk about the nights that they had. When your running back goes over 200 yards in a game, when your quarterback throws for almost 300, and just so efficient. Both of them made huge plays. Prukop distributes the ball very, very well. I don't know how many yards of offense. It doesn't really matter. The key thing is that they won, but those two guys stepped up and certainly fulfilled their roles tonight.
604 yards of total offense would be the number.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pretty sporty night for the Ducks offense.
Although, I'll tell you what, I'm not usually happy when you have 600 yards and only 44 points. You want to get more points per yard. I will tell you that as a coach.
Pass complete. Set between Stanford on the reception. It is. And the Ducks cross midfield. Actually, at the beginning of the second quarter, I'll say, nice wrap-up and tackle there by Juan Thornhill. Took him a quarter to get going, but after that, they scored 4 straight times. Tony Brooks-James into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. Flag on the field, sitting out at about the 30-yard line. Think this one might be coming back.
Offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty, second down.
You see the top of the screen. Watch there, right there at the top of the screen. He engages right there. Let's see what happens at the end. He sort of grabs him right there a little bit too much, and you can't hold on. As soon as he tries to redirect, you got to keep pushing or let go.
And again, where Bronco Mendenhall is concerned, this is just what he wants to see from his team. How hard they're going to play despite being down the number of points they are. And for Oregon, they'll take away another W and run their record to 2-0 on the season, again with that huge matchup against Nebraska next Saturday out in Lincoln. Massive night for Royce Freeman. Nice night for the Ducks offense. And the final score, Oregon 44 and Virginia 26 on a beautiful Saturday night here in Eugene.